yan, kasi sa puso.
Mr. Speaker, I know that the lady from the second district of Camarines, Norte, the Honorable Marisol Panotes, be recognized to obey the privilege hour.
The Honorable Panotes is recognized for her privilege.
Madam Speaker, honorable members of the August Chamber, ladies and gentlemen, I rise today to bring to the attention of this August body the pitiful plight of the people in the Bicol region, especially in my home province, and more particularly in the second district of Camarines, Norte, who were gravely devastated by the onslaught of tropical depression Usman. On December 28, 2018, a natural calamity gripped the Bicol region, including the province of Camarines Norte. Tropical depression Usman unleashed the fury in full force, dumping large volumes of rainfall that brought massive flooding in several towns of my province, submerging them underwater. Mud flows swept away scores of houses, forcing hundreds of people to troop to safer places. While my province is being ravaged by Usman, what we could do was watch and listen to media reports, frustrated and rendered powerless, because we could not do much under such natural calamity that happened in our midst. My family was not so much affected by the catastrophe. Yet, like all our colleagues here, we live outside the perimeter of the disaster area. I can feel the anguish and pain of countless Bicolans, especially my constituents, who have lost their homes, their precious possessions, their sources of livelihood, and more importantly, their loved ones. The morning after that fateful day, some centers of farming, fishery, and commerce became stretches of deserted and desolate land. On the highways and local roads, we saw caravans of people, work animals, and vehicles heading towards safer places. Some heavily damaged school buildings and houses, river control projects were destroyed, and submerged in flood waters were common sight to be seen. From one town to another in my district, the scene of desolation was the same. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Sciences Administration warned that, I quote, tropical depression Usman with relatively low atmospheric pressure would only bring cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, and that the rest of Luzon would have improved weather, but there would be only isolated light rains. I am not here to judge the wisdom of the agencies concerned, because natural disaster come when least expected. But who can now forget tropical depression Usman, Madam Speaker? According to National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, damage to agriculture reached 948 million and 3.3 billion to infrastructure in areas hit by Usman. As of January 7, 2019, the death toll reached 126, 26 missing, and 75 injured have been reported in regions 4B, 5, and 8. A total of 10,472 houses were damaged in the affected regions. In the Bicol region alone, at least 44 people have been reported dead and several others missing in floods and landslides, and 2,718 families were evacuated. Almost 1 month after the December 2018 catastrophe, the pain and anguish inflicted by tropical depression Usman lingers on. It is for this reason, Madam Speaker, that I stand before you today to urge government agencies concerned to rebuild the stricken areas and rehabilitate the lives of the dislocated people with extreme urgency, intensity, and passion. After all, according to press reports, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, through Assistant Secretary Glenda Relova, assured the public that they have stockpiles and standby funds amounting to 1.3 billion, which can readily be used to respond to emergency situations. I understand the Department of Public Works and Highways also has the so-called quick response funds to enable it to immediately respond to natural and man-made calamities. It is quite unfortunate, however, that until now assistance to my constituents come in insufficient trickles and donations fall short of expectation. Likewise, the DPWH has yet to start rebuilding damaged infrastructures. At this juncture, I would like to commend our provincial government, the municipal government, and other kind-hearted citizens for their timely distribution of relief goods to the families, to the evacuees, to temporarily appease their hunger. Madam Speaker, as we face anew the difficult task of recovering and rebuilding from the devastation caused by tropical depression, we should revisit the lessons of the past and possibly relearn the lessons we seem to never learn. It is understandable that weather disturbances and other calamities apparently become an obstacle to our economic growth. It is for this reason that I would like this august body, therefore, to revisit Republic Act number 10121, otherwise known as the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010, to better help us prepare for calamities, if only to mitigate the damages and untoward sufferings of our people. The flooding brought about by Typhoon Usman was the first and ever happened in my province, and the fear and anguish for another one coming is inevitable in the hearts and minds of my constituents. I would like also to express my sincere appreciation to the President for his commitment to use the multi-billion road users tax for flood control projects in the Bicol region, which suffered severe flooding and landslides due to that tropical depression. Finally, Madam Speaker, let us remind concerned government agencies that it is our collective duty to extend every possible assistance to the victims of calamity. The private sector, as well as the concerned good-hearted individuals, are more than willing to help, but I firmly believe that the bulk of assistance should always come from the government sector. Let us therefore ask for a more comprehensive reconstruction program, a program that will more extend assistance to areas depending on the magnitude of the damage and not based on the clout and influence of its leaders. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the privileged speech of Honorable Marisol Panotes to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. The same is approved.